fast. But here's the bottom line. I learned about this water almost 10 years ago. November 10th is the day I got my machine, 2007. So I learned about it in October, and I spent a whole month researching it. And the reason I explain this stuff is I'm going to try to think like you guys are thinking if you're new to this. You know, if you don't already have a machine, if you already have a machine, you've been drinking it like the rest of us, you already know all the stuff I'm going to say. But those of you that are new here that came to learn about this, to see if it might be something you want to bring into your life, is it worth the money? Is it real? You know, can it really help your health problems? Is it too good to be true? All that kind of thought. I had exactly the same thought. And as a certified natural health professional, I had studied years and years and years, over 30 years. I'd never even heard of this water before. So anybody that's skeptical, that's perfectly okay. You really should be skeptical, especially when you learn about something new that sounds just so incredible. How could it be true? But the good news is it's really true. This really is everything you've heard and way more than what you've heard. It's absolutely incredible. I consider it the world's healthiest substance. I mean over anything. I've studied homeopathy, I've studied nutrition and herbology, and I eat organic foods. I eat a raw food diet as much as I can. I'm into a lot of good stuff. Nothing you'll ever learn about. I mean this. Nothing in your whole lifetime that you're ever going to learn about is going to be more important for your good health and your family's good health than getting this water in your life and drinking it every day. Why is that? Now, just think about it. What is life? Life exists because of water. Water is life. When we send probes out to Mars, what's the thing they're always looking for? Evidence of water. Why? Because there's no life without water. They open up the old tombs in Egypt and they find these seeds, these wheat seeds that are ancient grains that have been there for 3,000 years. Just seeds drying up for 3,000 years. And they add water and what happens? It sprouts and grows. Water is the medium of life. Water is life. And we're made of water. So how can anything be more important for your health than water? Because that's what you're made of and that's what life is. So when you're a new baby, when you come into this world, you're 90% water. The day you're born, you're about 90% of your body is water. By the time you're a teenager, you're less than 80% water. By the time you're middle-aged, the average American's less than 70% water. You probably heard it said tonight that people are always commonly saying this, we're 70% water, we're 75% water. It's not true. We're meant to be, but most people aren't. Most people are going through life so dehydrated. By the time you reach 50, how many people, show of hands in here, have reached the age of 50? I'm one of them. Okay, so maybe it's like 20% of the room or something like that. I was turned 67 in May. And by the time the average American reaches 50, for men, your body composition is down to only 55% water. And the average woman in America, it's only 50% water. By the time the average American dies at 78 years of age, you're less than 45% water. So what is happening? We're coming into this life like a grape, and we're going out like a raisin. We're drying up on the inside, and you can see the cracks in the raisin, just like you see in old people's faces and stuff. You know, I should have wrinkles in my face. I should have a lot of them at 67. I don't have a lot of them. Why is it? I've been drinking this water for 10 years. It's super hydration. So this is what's going on. All the health problems. All the stuff Josh, Colton, everybody shared with me about the business tonight, it's absolutely true. This is a great business to be a part of. Why? Because it's the world's best substance. It's the best product you could possibly represent because every single person in the world drinks it and every single person in the world needs it. So it's a great thing, and this is perfect water. You'll never find a better water. So I don't usually talk about the business side of it, but I'll tell you, everything you said is true. It's an incredibly good business. When I learned about this 10 years ago, I've been doing it full-time ever since. And it's just really been great. But my forte and my passion's on the health side of it. So here's the bottom line. I got involved in health because I watched some of my family members suffer. You know, I'm like everybody else. I had grandparents that I loved that died of heart attacks, and I watched my grandma die of stomach cancer. Oh, man, was that bad back in the 60s, you know. I mean, it was just horrible to see my sweet grandma die of cancer like that. My mother got Parkinson's disease. My mom raised 13 kids. And right at the time of life where she should have been able to enjoy her golden years, you know, with my dad and travel around and see all of us kids and her grandkids and all that, instead she gets Parkinson's disease. And the first thing Big Pharma, educated doctors tell her is there's no cure. You'll end up in a wheelchair in a nursing home. It's only going to get worse. So that just totally depressed her. For the next 12 years, she went downhill, downhill, downhill. My little sister, I got 5 sisters. My oldest sister, Susie, she was diagnosed by Mayo Clinic with autoimmune disease called lupus, like back in 1970. For like 46 years of her life, she's been on prednisone, which is a horrible steroid, immunosuppressive. She's had 20 other diseases caused by the steroids. So I'm against Big Pharma. I'm against the whole concept of Western medicine. If you get in a car accident, go see an MD. You know, if you fall out of a tree or break a bone falling off the roof, go see an MD. But if you've got a degenerative health condition, the worst thing you can do is go see an MD. because all they're going to do is give you drugs. That's all they learn. Pharmacology, anatomy, physiology. They don't even understand health. So if you want to know what health is about, it's about hydration more than anything. We start out 90% water, we die 45% water. You think there's a connection? There is. Now why is that? I'm going to tie this back to Kangen water, but it's all about water. The reason is because the thing that determines your health is the condition of your cells. It's not the condition of your organs or your glands or your bones or your tissues. It's your cells. Life is made up of your cells. And in order to be healthy, the cells in the human body are meant and designed to be slightly alkaline. Why is that? I'm going to make it real simple, real elementary. What do we all breathe to stay alive? And what's in the air that we need to stay alive? Oxygen. Okay, what does alkaline mean? Alkaline means the presence of oxygen in the liquid. That's really all it is. All liquids in the world are water-based. They're made of two things, hydrogen and oxygen. The more hydrogen in the liquid, the more acidic it is. I'm sure you saw the charts tonight here before I got here. The more hydrogen, the more acidic. The more oxygen, the more alkaline. What do we need for life? Oxygen. So doesn't it make sense that we thrive in an alkaline environment? Because that's where you find oxygen. All the things that cause disease, that can make you sick, doesn't matter what name they give to it. Cancer, it can be caused by a fungus, a virus, a mold, a yeast, a mycoplasm. Did I already say virus? Fungus. All these things that cause diseases can make you sick and eventually will kill you. Guess what? They don't live in the presence of oxygen. They thrive in the presence of hydrogen. Why is that? Because we produce energy by the respiration of oxygen. All the pathogens, the things that make you sick and cause diseases, they produce their energy by the respiration of hydrogen. So naturally, they're going to thrive in the hydrogen environment where we're going to thrive in the oxygen environment. And what makes an oxygen environment? Alkaline fluids. The more alkaline something is, the more oxygen is in it. And that's what we need to thrive. So what allows us to maintain an alkaline pH balance inside our cells? You're made up of 90 or 100 trillion cells. Every single one of them needs water every day of your life. And water is what allows you to maintain an alkaline pH within your cell, because water has alkaline minerals in it. And when you're taking in alkaline minerals into the cell, you maintain an environment in there that's high in oxygen and alkaline and not conducive to disease. So the things we get sick from, like cancer or fungus or mold or bacteria, those things can't even live. They can't exist in your body if you stay alkaline, because they can only live in the acidic environment that's low in oxygen. They can't live in the presence of high levels of oxygen that you find in an alkaline state. So the absolute key to all health is to keep your body alkaline and rich in oxygen. When you do that, it's like mosquitoes. Mosquitoes can't breed in the desert. You know, mosquitoes have to have standing water to breed in. Out in the desert, you don't have to worry about mosquitoes. They're not there because they can't live in that environment. And bacteria and fungus and cancer can't live in the alkaline environment. So the thing that is designed to keep us alkaline is water. Taking in fresh water every day, flushing the old, dirty, acidic, toxic water out of our cells, replace it with good, clean, high alkaline, high oxygen water. But what are we all doing? Who's drinking water these days? What are we all drinking? Other beverages. You probably saw the demonstration like this stuff. We're drinking Gatorade or Red Bull or Pepsi or Mountain Dew or Coca-Cola or pasteurized milks or pasteurized juices. Wine, beer, what am I leaving out? You know, reverse osmosis. We're drinking all these other beverages, coffee, tea, because we prefer the pasteurized milk. We prefer the flavor of them, maybe, or because we indoctrinated by commercials. But they're not water. God did not design your body to run on coffee or tea or Gatorade or Red Bull or Budweiser, any of that stuff. Our bodies are designed to run on water. And so there's been a big movement in our country in the last 20 years, in the world overall, to learn how important water is. But guess what? What always happens is there's always somebody who wants to take a commercial advantage of it. Now they've made water an $80 billion industry. They're selling you water in bottles, in plastic bottles, and water's the universal solvent. What does that mean? It means it dissolves everything it comes in contact with, or absorbs it. It absorbs plastic, and the plastic is carcinogenic, meaning it causes cancer. So we're spending $80 billion a year on dead water in a plastic bottle that's leaching plastic that causes cancer when we drink it. So the problem is we're not able to maintain that alkaline environment inside our cells that we need to keep disease at bay and to stay healthy, vibrant, and full of energy and have a good, long, healthy life. We're all too acidic, and we're all too dehydrated without even knowing it. And the more dehydrated you are, the more acidic you become. Because water is what the body uses to neutralize acids and flush them out of the body. So the more dehydrated you are, the more acidic you are. And as you saw tonight, I'm sure, all those beverages are acidic. So what you drink and what you eat determines everything in your health, basically. They try to make you think it's your genes. It isn't your genes. You can have a genetic predisposition in your family, but it doesn't mean you're going to get that. It's the environment that the gene finds itself in that determines the expression of the gene. It's a whole new field called epigenetics. It's proven conclusively. So now they're not so much talking about genes anymore. Now they want to blame everything on your immune system. So they're selling billions of pills to suppress your immune system. Your immune system is the best friend you have in the world. It's been serving us for thousands of years. It does not make mistakes. It doesn't mistakenly attack healthy tissue. That's a bunch of baloney. That's what they told my sister 48 years ago at Mayo Clinic. They told her, oh, your immune system has gone awry. That's why you have lupus. It's mistakenly attacking your healthy cells. Well, at 18 years old, I knew that wasn't true. That's absurd. The immune system doesn't make mistakes. What the immune system is doing, it's attacking your cells, but they're not healthy. That's why it's attacking them. It's attacking cells that have become so acidic and so toxic that they're full of fungus or mold or yeast or virus or cancer, and that's why the immune system attacks them. Yeah. So what if you have an autoimmune disorder? What if you want to get your health back? Guess what? My little sister, she's off prednisone. I got her on the water. In June, she went off prednisone after 48 years. Wow. Being told she could never live without it, she's completely off it now. The water's changed her whole life. Well, if you maintain an alkaline pH in your cells, you go through life healthy and you live long. It's that simple. And here's what I want to say to you. There isn't any way in the world that you can maintain that alkaline pH balance in your cells and in your body more effectively than this Kangen water. That's really what it all boils down to. It's really that simple. Health is all about hydration and pH balance and nutrition and detoxification. And nothing in the world hydrates you better than this water. I'm sure Josh talked earlier about how it's microclustered, where your body absorbs it 6 times faster. That's all true. We've got nuclear microscopy studies proving it, where you can see the water going into the cell membranes 300% more efficiently. All the disease processes are involving the free radicals damaging your cells. Guess what? This water is the most effective and powerful antioxidant in the whole world, so there's nothing you can do to slow down oxidation or rusting or corrosion of your body more effectively than to drink this water. We're all exposed to toxins. You know, there's unborn babies. They're taking blood out of umbilical cords. Unborn babies, they're finding over 200 different man-made chemicals in their blood before they ever come into the world. Think about that. Think about that. 200 chemicals in the blood of unborn children. That's the generations we're bringing into the world now. Because our water's polluted, our soils are polluted, our air's polluted, our food supply's being denatured and polluted and poisoned and genetically modified. You can't avoid the toxins. No matter, you can live on a farm up in Oregon out in the mountains and grow your own organic vegetables and drink out of your own stream, and you're still going to have 200 toxins in your blood. You can't avoid it. It's in the air. It circulates throughout the whole world. All the garbage in China, it ends up here, and we're breathing it, and our junk is ending up in Europe, and they're breathing it. You cannot avoid it. Nobody can avoid it. But what you can do is protect yourself and your family and fight back. And guess what does it more effectively than anything in the world? Absolutely. So you see. It's why I get excited about talking to groups. It's why I love sharing this with everybody. It's why for 10 years my wife says I don't know when to shut up, because I really don't. I never stop talking about it. I mean, for 10 years now, every single day of my life, this dominates my life. Here's the truth. All day long, I've been talking to people about it. In Panama, in Chile, in America, all over. I haven't eaten breakfast yet today. I haven't had lunch. I haven't had dinner. I haven't had a snack. I haven't had nothing all day long except Kangen water. It keeps me going. I drink about 2 gallons a day. Now, you couldn't live like that. 2 gallons? Yeah, I drink just 7-8 quarts every day. When I go out in the Palm Desert to golf and it's 115 degrees, I'll drink 3 gallons because you sweat more, you know. But it's loaded with energy. Oh, let me give you another one about water. Water has this unique property. It's what they call dipolar. You know how things have either a positive charge or a negative charge? Well, water has both, because hydrogen's positive and oxygen's negative. So water has both a positive and a negative charge. Gives it really unique qualities. That's why it's a universal solvent. It can react with everything, because opposites attract. So the negative end of water can attract with a positive substance, and the positive end can attract with a negative substance. Well, what else do we know of in life that has a positive on one end and a negative on the other end? Exactly, a battery. What does that mean? It means water has the incredible property to absorb and store energy. Water doesn't just carry energy through the body, it is energy. Photon energy from sunlight, from, let there be light, the light of life, the photon energy of the sun, it's absorbed and stored and transferred in water. So when you are optimally hydrated with the best water in the world, which is what you are when you drink Kangen water, you literally have energy. When we run a 230-watt electrical current through that machine, the water, just like a little battery, sucks it up. Just sucks up the energy. Guess what happens when you drink the water? It releases that energy in your body, just like you had protein or carbs or fat or food for energy. So this is the truth. It's been almost 2 years now. I mean, I grew up on a farm. I was a country boy, one of 13 kids, and I mashed potatoes and gravy and roast beef and steaks and fried chicken. I was raised that way, you know, and I've been a big eater all my life, and I've always believed breakfast is the biggest, most important meal of the day. I'd start my day with 3 or 4 eggs, 3 pieces of toast, a bowl of oatmeal, blueberries, some cantaloupe. I mean, I just load up on food. I weigh the same I did when I was 16, but I eat more than most of you can imagine. But I only eat good stuff. So if you eat the good stuff, you get so much nutrition out of it, you don't have to worry about snacking, eating all the other stuff so you don't get out of weight. The only reason you get overweight is because you're so acidic. Your body is using fat to protect you from the acid. That's why you can't lose weight, because it's not the calories, it's the acid from the junk food that we eat. Mm-hmm. So even though I've had no food all day, do I seem like I'm running out of gas? I got plenty of energy, and it's been about 2 years now. For the last 2 years, I've made a complete change in my life. I only eat 1 meal a day. Most people think, eat 3 or 4 small meals a day and all that. I usually never eat till 10 or 11 at night. I go all day long with nothing but Kangen water, a little bit of sea salt and lots of Kangen water. And there's so much energy in it, I just keep going and keep going and keep going. So,
like an energetic bunny.
It's exactly what it is. It's just
That's
what the water does. So here's the cool thing. For everybody that's heard about this and doesn't know if it could be true or not, and don't know if they really can believe it because it sounds too good to be true, you don't know me, so why should you take my word? I know that. But I'm swearing to you from my heart. It's all true. This water is the healthiest substance in the world. There isn't anything out there. There's no food. There's no supplement. There's no herb. There's no medicine. There's no treatment. There's nothing in the world that can do more to restore your health or keep your good health than to drink this water every day in meaningful amounts. And I'm absolutely certain of it. And I'll just give you some examples, okay? I want to make a disclaimer. I'm not going to claim that the water cures disease. We can't do that. Under current federal law, they can arrest you for stuff like that or try to block your products and all that. So to keep the FDA and the FTC people happy, we don't claim that the water cures anything. We don't claim that it treats disease or prevents disease, or we don't imply that it does. And I'm not implying that, so don't interpret that I'm telling you that this is going to cure your disease, because I'm not. Only the body can cure your disease. Your immune system, your own body has the innate ability to heal itself. So what I'm here to talk about isn't that the water cures or heals or prevents, it's that the body cures and heals and prevents. But the body cannot use its miraculous properties of self-healing when it's acidic, when it's toxic, and when it's dehydrated. In order for the body to unleash its incredible ability to heal itself of anything, it has to be alkaline, it has to be well hydrated, and it has to be detoxified. Guess what? Every single prescription drug in the world makes you more acidic, more toxic, and more dehydrated because they don't come from nature. They're synthetic chemicals from petroleum products or coal tar. Your body considers them toxic and poison, and they're acidic. They make you more dehydrated, more acidic, and more toxic. You ever wonder why there's no cure for any disease? Because you can't be cured by poisoning your body. The body can only heal itself when it's alkaline, well hydrated, and detoxified. And guess what? Guess what detoxifies you better than anything in the world? Guess what hydrates you more effectively than anything in the world? That's right. And what was the third one? Detox, hydration, and alkaline. There's no better way to get alkaline than drinking alkaline water. Do you know that when you get your water out of your tap, it's already alkaline water? Did you know that? Most water is about 7.4, 7.5, and pH is neutral, so technically it's already slightly alkaline. Not really for a good reason, because they put commercial lye and ammonia in it, stuff like that, but it's slightly alkaline. The 9.5 water that we drink is 100 times more alkaline than that. And it's not coming from lye and chlorine and, ammonia and stuff like that. It's coming from the minerals that God put in our earth, that water absorbs when it comes down the rivers and down the streams. So, I'll give you a little history here. Up in Hunza land in northern Pakistan, in the Himalaya Mountains, anybody heard of the Hunza people? Did we talk about them tonight? Cool, I won't go into it a lot there.
Great apricots over there.
Yeah, apricot seeds, yeah. They've got a lot of good things. And everything they eat's organic. They're above the pollution level. There's no smog because there's so high up atmospheric pressure keeps the smog down. But Dr. Henri Coanda spent 60 years of his life studying those people. This was back in the days when the average people in Europe were dying in their 50s. Well, the people in Hunza land in those same period were living to be 110 and 120 and higher. And Dr. Coanda, brilliant man. He was the father of fluid dynamics. He was the first guy who got the concept of the jet engine. He won the Nobel Prize for Medicine. Really a man of genius. He was intrigued. How could a whole population live twice as long as everybody else in the world? What could it be? So he went up there. He literally moved up to Hunza land. He lived with them for 30 years. He was a Nobel Prize laureate. He left Europe and his medical practice and went up and lived with the Hunza people for 30 years because he just had to know the truth about why they're so healthy, why they live so longer. As a matter of fact, as a result of living there and drinking the water that they drink and their lifestyle, he himself lived to be 107. Wow. Incredible. Well, guess what? after 60 years of research, and he came to the conclusion that the most significant reason that they have extraordinary health and longevity is the water they drink. Because it's from glaciers that melt at the top of the world. It's never been polluted. It's perfect water. It's got the perfect hexagonal structure like a snowflake. It's loaded with alpha minerals. It's naturally antioxidant. And guess what? The Japanese researchers and scientists that developed this technology was just to try to duplicate that water. Because Japan, the Japanese government was trying to, back in the 60s in Japan, they were having a real problem with water pollution. You know, Japan's a highly industrialized island nation, densely populated. Their water was getting really bad. And the Japanese government's very proactive on health. Yes. Oh, they're very proactive on health. So they sponsored a research team to go around the world to see who lived the longest, who was the healthiest. And the first place they found was the Hunza people, and they studied them. Then they found the Ural Mountains in Russia, where the people lived to be over 100. Then the Vilcabamba Indians in Ecuador, up in the Andes Mountains in South America, they lived to be 100, 110. And they all had a common denominator. They were all drinking their water from glaciers that melted and came down mountain streams. They don't drink chlorine. They don't drink fluoride. They don't drink acid rain. They don't have prescription drug residues in their water. They're not drinking gray recycled water. They don't have pesticides and fungicides and herbicides and industrial pollution from factories. The water they drink is perfect water the way nature intended. And that's what the Japanese replicated. That's what Kangen water is. It duplicates the water up in the Hunza land. So when
Right?
So I know. Okay, give me like 3 more minutes, okay? I'll wrap it up. Okay, 3 more minutes. So, when you drink that water, there isn't anybody that can't benefit. And here's the great news. Again, not making a health claim, but just because your body's designed to heal, and when you get alkaline and hydrated, detoxified, your body will heal itself. There isn't any condition anymore that's incurable. There's no such thing as incurable. I took a lady with multiple sclerosis, 6 years in a wheelchair, on 25 medications, 4 inhalers for asthma, congestive heart failure, fibromyalgia, acid reflux, hiatal hernia. She's in so bad after 6 years in an electric wheelchair in a nursing home. She's in hospice care on morphine. You know, that's how they take you out at the end of life. She's got a day or 2 to live. She knows it's over because she's a hospice nurse. That's what she did for a living, and now they're doing it to her. We put her on Kangen water. Within 3 weeks, she was completely pain-free. Within 3 months, she's out of the nursing home and out of the wheelchair and got her driver's license back. Now it's been 7 years. She's never had a symptom of MS or congestive heart failure or asthma, hasn't used an inhaler, off all 25 drugs for 7 years now, completely disease-free. And the only thing she changed was she started drinking this water. I had a lady that had lymphoma that went into lung cancer. Mayo Clinic, the great Mayo Clinic, told her incurable, nothing could be done, less than 90 days to live, no more chemo because she couldn't take any more. Guess what? And I'm not saying the water cured her. I'm saying her body healed herself once she got back in the balance she needed to be in, and the water got her in that balance. We put her on the water. Within 6 weeks, her lymphoma's gone and her lung cancer's gone. She had been on 5 medications, 4 EpiPens with her everywhere she went. She got stung that following summer 6 times, never had an allergic reaction, never used the EpiPen, never had to go to the hospital. She's no longer allergic anymore. And now that was 9 years ago, and she's still cancer-free. Multiple myeloma is the deadliest cancer statistically in the country. 5-year lifespan on chemotherapy maximum. Now, the 5-year survival rate for multiple myeloma is 0.0 on chemotherapy. I took a lady in Ohio. We'd been going to the Cleveland Clinic, another fancy place back there. She'd already had it for 5 years. She was on her deathbed. Her only chance was a stem cell bone marrow transplant. The problem is they give you so much chemo in that 20% of the time you die from the procedure and 50% of the time you die of an infection in the hospital afterwards. We started her on Kangen water 3 weeks before her procedure at the Cleveland Clinic. She immediately got out of bed, had energy, was cooking, doing the cleaning, felt so much better. When she went into the clinic after 3 weeks of water, the Cleveland Clinic canceled her stem cell transplant, did not give it to her because she didn't need it anymore. And 23 months later, she was cancer-free. And she called me from the clinic the day she was leaving to tell me. She said, we haven't even called our kids yet. We wanted you to be the first one to know. So I could go on for hours, and we've all seen incredible things. But what does it all mean? It means that God designed your body to heal itself, and there's no such thing as incurable anymore. Any condition can be improved when you are optimally hydrated, when you have optimal pH balance, when you're able to detoxify, and if you give the body the right nutrients. And nothing does any of that better than this water. So go out into the world, tell everybody about it. Tell everybody about it, share it with everybody you know, and know in confidence that you're speaking the truth and you're representing the best product of its kind in the world, and there isn't anybody you can't help. So I couldn't recommend to you more highly.